Hello, my name is Kevia Roberts, and today I will be doing a informative speech. My informative speech will be in reference to psychopaths and their characteristics. I will be focusing on three notorious psychopaths and their crimes, as well as their backgrounds. I currently am a certified correctional officer, and I have come across several different types of psychopaths within my time with the department, which succeeds 8 years. The first psychopath that I will be talking about today will be Mr. Ted Bundy. Ted Bundy is known for one of his historical crimes, which took place in Florida, Tallahassee, Florida, to be exact. Basically, Ted Bundy is an individual that looks like the everyday individual. There was nothing wrong with him. However, he was very smart. He was smart. He has a lot of charismatic, and he was well grown. He was so intelligent that he was able to get into college along. When he got into college, he was able to find a companion in a young lady at the school. Him and his companion was together for several years, and while they were together, everything was fine. But once they split up, Mr. Bundy went on a crime spree. Mr. Bundy killed over 30 women. He raped, molested them, and killed them one by one. He would use their heads as trophies within his apartment, and basically he would still do sexual activity with the corpse. Besides that, Mr. Ted Bundy was captured and placed into jail, where he ended up escaping from. And once he escaped, he ended up in Tallahassee, Florida, at a sorority house located on the campus of Florida State University. There, he took hostage of four women. Once taking hostage of the four women, Mr. Bundy took it upon himself to murder two of the victims, and he wounded the other two badly. He was convicted of the two murders, as well as he ended up receiving two death sentences. Now, besides that, let's go to our next candidate, which will be a psychopath by the name of Albert Fish. Now, he wasn't like Mr. Bundy and went ahead and waited for the bodies to rot. Mr. Fish took it upon himself to go ahead and kill a young child who was mentally challenged. And after killing this mentally challenged child, he killed other mentally challenged individuals as well as African Americans. Now, Mr. Fish also came from a mental issue family background, which may be part of one of his issues. He wrote a letter to he ended up meeting a young girl by the name of Bud, I'm sorry, and basically Grace Bud's parents he won over, and he asked them to take her to a party. When taking her to this party, he went ahead and took advantage of her by not taking her to the party, but they ended up at an abandoned house where he ended up killing her, cutting her body into pieces, and from that he went ahead and ate each piece. Now, 7 years after Little Grace was missing, he went ahead and wrote a letter to her family stating in detail everything that he did that day. However, he let them know that she died still a virgin. This all was put into place so that he can go ahead and plead insanity. Now, we've talked about Ted and Albert. Let's go on to Mrs. Dose. Nancy Dose was an individual who seemed normal. She married her first husband and had four kids. After marrying her first husband and having her four kids, she realized that wasn't a life for her. She murdered two of her kids. After murdering two of her kids, she murdered her stepmom. After murdering her stepmom, her husband had came back into town after leaving after the two kids had died with the other two kids, and she ended up murdering him as well. Then come along, she had her second, third husband, her fourth husband. She ended up spending a couple of years with. Once spending some time with her fourth husband, he caught on to some of her crazy activities after she killed her mother and father. and he then ended up dead as well. She married her fifth husband, took out an insurance policy. After taking out the insurance policy, her husband ended up sick in the hospital. He was discharged, sent home with her, and a few hours later, he was dead as well. Nancy was finally convicted of his murder along with several others. She was known as one of the most notorious serial killers around. This is my speech. I hope you learned from my speech the difference between the several characteristics of these three psychopaths. Thank you and have a great night.